Erika Kirk's father is involved with Raytheon Israel. Is that what you're saying?
From what I understand, Erika Kirk's father formed Raytheon Israel's division and was the former chairperson / president. I believe he's retired now, but he was actively involved. Apparently, they didn't meet. Erika didn't say they met, but she said that she saw him. She was on a pilgrimage with her mom, and she saw Charlie, and she was like, wow, I want to get to know that guy. And then apparently they met down the road, and as a millionaire, because she owned a clothing line and she also was part of this this Romanian like child safety rescue operation. I don't know exactly what it was specifically, but then she decided that she wanted to apply for a job at Turning Point. Her mom, AZ Tech, her dad, AZ Tech International. She's actually on video probably 5-6 years ago admitting that they moved to Arizona because her mom was working with Homeland Security.
Can I ask a question? It's off topic. How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry.
I hate to make conspiracies about this, but there are just way too many similarities in this movie and what happened to Charlie Kirk. So in a 1998 movie called Snake Eyes starring Nicolas Cage, a politician named Charlie Kirkland, a politician, gets assassinated in the neck in very almost identical spot. And it is during a boxing match on September 10th, here's the poster, and the man starring in the fight is Tyler the Executioner. I usually don't believe in coincidences, but I just don't understand how this is possible. The same date, the big event, the big distraction is the fight of Tyler the Executioner. The name of the politician who got assassinated is Charlie Kirkland. It's wild.
There's a movie called Snake Eyes, which came out in 1998, and in that movie, U.S. politician Charles Kirkland is assassinated at a live event by a shot through the neck. Charles Kirkland, like Charles Kirk. And obviously, Charlie Kirk was also shot in the neck, allegedly, right? Well, in the movie Snake Eyes, the heavyweight boxer Lincoln Tyler is in the ring during the assassination. Tyler, like Tyler Robinson. And in Gematria, Lincoln Tyler is 165, like Tyler Robinson is 165. And his nickname is the Executioner, okay? Well, the big part here, guys, in the movie Snake Eyes, the assassination occurs on September 10th. Charlie Kirk was allegedly assassinated on September 10th. Can you believe this, guys? You guys got to share this with everyone you can. This is undeniable. And also, see how Nicolas Cage is doing the hands like Charlie Kirk. Also, Donald Trump does that hand sign. And also, we're in the year of the snake right now. It's called Snake Eyes. But wow, just, you put that all together. Charles Kirkland shot in the neck. Lincoln Tyler equals Tyler Robinson. And you're telling me the assassination in the movie happened on September 10th, the same day the Charlie Kirk event happened? Oh my goodness.
It's always in the movies. You guys, wouldn't it be wild if not one, but two movies predicted Charlie Kirk's assassination? Now, remember I showed you guys this movie called Tempest, which came out on the same day that Charlie Kirk died, September 10th, about a politician getting shot in the neck. I would just like to know, how did this movie from 1998 called Snake Eyes predict everything that happened? Now, in short, the movie's about a detective who goes to a boxing match and witnesses the assassination of the Secretary of Defense by, you guessed it, a shot in the neck. How is it that this guy who gets shot, his name is Charles Kirkland, like Charlie Kirk? You can't make this up. Now, in this boxing match, one of the fighters' names is Tyler, and he has a very interesting nickname, which is the Executioner. Oh, you mean the same name as Charlie's killer, Tyler, in which executed him in front of everybody. And not only that, the full name of this boxer is actually Lincoln Tyler, like Lincoln, who also got assassinated. And this date does look like September 10th, but it's actually the 19th. It looks like, I can't see, it's not too clear, because if you compare that 0 to the other one, it doesn't look the same. So that one's debunked. Then you have the city itself it took place in, which is Atlantic City, in which the filming actually took place at Trump's Taj Mahal Hotel Casino in Atlantic City. Now, what are the chances that Charlie Kirk's father actually helped build not only Trump Tower in New York, but other hotel casinos like the Tropicana in Atlantic City? And not to mention, one of the characters in the movie who was a hotel casino owner was based off of Trump. Now, speaking of Trump, not only that Erika Kirk, Charlie's wife, knew Trump long before Charlie did when she won Miss Arizona in the pageant that Trump owned, but how is it possible that in this scene where this guy gets assassinated, there is a blonde in a white satin suit, just like Erika?
I am telling you, you are the one that's going to be sorry.
And I quote, "I'm telling you, you're the one that's gonna be sorry." Bro, what? Now, with all that being said, with the cherry on top, we have an all-seeing eye right in that scene right before he gets shot. This is why I watch movies with a different lens, you guys, because it's either predictive programming, they have some type of time travel. I don't know how this all works, but this is more than just a coincidence. As always, make sure you get into my Telegram and let me know what you think about all this down below.
Keep watching, please. So this is Tyler Robinson, as you know, and he's the suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting. Now let's jump over to this guy. He looks totally normal. He's Kush Patel of the FBI. And he stated numerous times that it took 33 hours to catch the perp, right? 33 hours. Now let's jump over to the BBC News channel in the UK. They used this photo in the arrest article, but some clever soul has pulled the metadata and it does not match by a long way. So because of time zones, it was around 7:30 p.m. in the UK at the time of the shooting. But you can see here that the image of Tyler was embedded into the article at 11:40 p.m. That's only 4 hours after the shooting. They didn't release it till the next afternoon, but they had the photo and uploaded it. How? You tell me. Even more bizarre is this photo of the alleged perp. Odd photo to take for a start. But look at the computer screen. Let's see where this place is.
And I'll see you in Valhalla. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
We go into witness protection. There's different ways you can create an identity. It's much easier to have a shared identity. And do you allow them free somewhere, or do they go to what we call Valhalla, some holding place that's not able to be in communication with the rest of the world, but as a community, and then you can bring them out later on.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Did you see what the head of FBI said about Charlie Kirk? No.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
I'll see you in Valhalla.
What's Valhalla?
Valhalla is a place where warriors go in heaven. Yeah. But there's a crazy theory that dropped because the shooter of Charlie Kirk's shooting, there's a picture of him in his bedroom on his computer screen, a wallpaper of Goat Island.
Okay.
In Goat Island, there's a coffee shop. Yeah, called Valhalla. Theory goes, okay, first I'm gonna say RIP to bro. Like this is tragedy. This is just a theory. People think that he didn't actually die. There was a plane that took off and they were trying to track it and it turned off their comms. And it turned off their tracking, which is illegal. You can't do that. But it happened. It left a very short time away from when he was shot.
Oh,
it's just a theory.
This one here has got me a little confused. A new book that was released about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And what's so confusing about it? Well, its publication date. You see, September 9th is the day before Charlie Kirk was shot. He was shot yesterday, that was the 10th. This book was published the day before he was shot. Seems odd, doesn't it?
You're watching the Kramer Says Project.
Okay, so those were seeing this all about Charlie Kirk. First of all, I am devastated. I am stressed. I hope he's okay. I was just Googling this, and something blew my mind. This just happened, September 10th. If you look on Google right now, 19 hours ago, posted by New York Times and Los Angeles Times, 19 hours ago, saying Charlie Kirk was shot. 19 hours ago would have been September 9th. Today's the 10th. This doesn't make sense. 19 hours ago. 19 hours ago. Today is the 10th. This doesn't make sense. How could the New York Times and Los Angeles Times report 19 hours ago that he had been shot when this just happened September 10th? Am I crazy? Am I crazy?
A new video is circulating showing a different angle, suggesting that there is another person on a different roof. This camera swipes by the Woodbury building, which is on the right side of where Charlie Kirk was sitting. The reported timestamp on this video was 12:06 p.m., suggesting that this video was taken about 17 minutes before Charlie got shot. In the video, you can clearly see a black mass appear on top of the Woodbury building roof. Check it out.
Erika Kirk's Romanian Angels connection is being wiped off the internet. It's so bizarre. I kept getting people in the comment section saying, this is all from unconfirmed sources. Thinking, well, I think she founded the organization. They have to be somewhat confirmed. I looked it on the internet. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I went and had ChatGPT do deep research, and it made this entire article for me. I've got the article posted on my page that you can go and check out right here if you want to read the whole thing. But I'll just go through some of the highlights. ChatGPT basically had to pull this stuff from Romanian news. Yes, Erika Kirk was associated with Romanian Angels, but in the capacity of the founder and organizer of a charitable program by that name. Romania's lax adoption system in the 90s became rife with irregularities, baby buying, bribery, murky intermediaries making blank trafficking allegations hard to ignore. Erika Franziev founded her nonprofit Everyday Heroes Like You as a teenager in 2006. By 2013, Erika had described Romanian Angels as a partnership with the U.S. Marine for early 2010 scandals, traffic rings, and missing children fears. The era of Erika Kirk, it's very hard to say, it was active in Romania circa 2010 to 2012, coincided with several high-profile child trafficking cases that gripped Romania and international media. It just goes on and on and on for the entire period that she was there. I'm not saying that she did any of this. I'm just saying it's a giant coincidence. It's really bizarre that she just happened to be in that area, and then we just have all of these scandals going on, and she was, Miss USA and all this other stuff. So you can go check out the article. It's in my profile. You'll be able to find it very easily right here on my site. You can go over there and you can start giving me 99 cents a month if you want to be a sponsor, and we'll go around to these live events and we'll go cover stuff on the ground. Tell me what you think about all this craziness, and make sure that y'all like and follow for more.
Nothing is a coincidence. Hold on to that thought. Did you know that Charlie Kirk's father, Robert W. Kirk, was actually the architect for Trump Towers? Also, did you know that Erica Lane Kirk won Miss Arizona USA in 2012? Don't forget, Donald Trump ran Miss America from 1996 until 2015. Seeing the correlation here?
That ended up being Charlie. Nothing is by coincidence. Now, did we know that? No, not until we were like 3 months into our relationship and looking at timestamps, seeing that both of us were in Israel at the same time.
People, this was so arranged. And there's so much more to Erika Kirk. Kind of like how she was all into basketball, didn't want to be all girly, never liked to dress up, even cut all her hair off, and ended up being Miss USA. How does that happen? How do you go from sports to Miss USA? And then they meet at a Turning Point event in 2018, where she's interviewing for a job for Turning Point. Solidified. I got a feeling there's more to the story here.
Who would record such a personal moment? It's propaganda. One-eyed symbolism. If you can see the symbolism, you can spot the deception. But if you want to sit here and remain in denial, then the same things are just going to keep happening. Yeah, so the same guy that was involved in the Trump incident was involved in the incident with Charlie Kirk. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
Charlie Kirk's funeral was an absolute disaster. Who would have thought that the memorial service for the well-known American figure Charlie Kirk would turn into a ridiculous farce that subverts the definition of a funeral? First, despite having no official title, his funeral was staged like a top-tier celebrity event, a 73,000-seat stadium filled to capacity, with overflow crowds pushing attendance past 200,000. The nationwide broadcast was comparable to a presidential inauguration, and fireworks were set off before each speech, creating an atmosphere completely lacking in sorrow. Second, the security measures were absurdly excessive. 500 agents, snipers, drone surveillance, and a staggering $10 million budget, on par with the Super Bowl. Such a massive deployment was far beyond what's needed for an ordinary memorial service. Most offensive of all was the spectacle of performers. Kirk's wife pretended to cry during her speech, only to break into a bright smile immediately after. Donald Trump Jr. took the stage with a broad grin, imitating his father's speaking style, while Trump Sr. watched from the audience with an approving expression. What should have been a solemn occasion for remembrance was reduced to a stage for political propaganda and fake emotions.
The shooter. Whenever you zoom in, you can really make out the person's silhouette. You can see where his skin tone is, his hat, his glasses, and also the cross of a rifle, what looks to be an AR-15. And he also might have a scope on it. This gun might be an air rifle, it might be a modified AR-15. Who knows what kind of gun this is, and I don't think we're ever going to get the caliber that he actually got shot with. This lines up perfectly with the sniper nooks that we were looking at, and the angle of this shooter matches up with where Charlie Kirk got shot. Looks like we finally got a picture of this shooter. Whenever you zoom in, you can really make out the person's silhouette. You can see where his skin tone is, his hat, his glasses, and also the cross of a rifle, what looks to be an AR-15. And he also might have a scope on it. This gun might be an air rifle, it might be a modified AR-15. Who knows what kind of gun this is, and I don't think we're ever going to get the caliber that he actually got shot with. This lines up perfectly with the sniper nooks that we were looking at, and the angle of this shooter matches up with where Charlie Kirk got shot.
Noticed online that a lot of people were talking about, why are these people allowed to be in this canopy? Why isn't this marked off and taped off as a crime scene? And why is this guy in the white shirt taking the most very important camera down? What do you think is the most very important camera there? Why is he taking it down? Well, here's why. Because it's not a crime scene. A crime didn't take place here. And that's not a camera. Now, before I tell you what it is, I want you to get a real good look at it as he's taking it down. Anybody figure out what it is yet? Okay, here's what it is. It's called a hologram projector. And if you don't believe me, you can go look them up online. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. Usually $20,000 to $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for these things. And they come in different varieties. Now, Hollywood calls them hologram stage projectors. Now, you see how Charlie's little tent there is a perfect square? And as you can tell, it's 10 foot squared, 10 foot all the way around on each square, and it's about 9 foot tall. That's because it has to be for the projection to work. Now, let's explain.
For smaller spaces, the projectors can be configured with mirrors to elongate the projection path and maintain picture integrity. Eyeliner displays ideally require a minimum footprint of 10 feet square and a height of 9 feet to show full-size human figures. What you are seeing is a reflected image which is so true and realistic to the original, it has become known as a virtual image. Many people perceive what they are seeing now as a 3D hologram. In fact, it is a 21st century take on a mid-19th century visual effect known as Pepper's Ghost, showing now on the relay screens. Thanks in part to the amazing optical properties of the eyeliner foil, combined with the light and picture output of Christie Digital high-definition projectors, the image has depth and opacity that actually supersedes the scale and definition of traditional 3D hologram.
Like I said before, 10 foot squared, 9 foot tall. This canopy was made this size for a purpose because it is a hologram stage projection that you guys were watching.
I want to show you what I found as far as how did this happen to Charlie?
2 bullets lodged in his chest, but he stood still, expressionless. This is not a story about a man who is bulletproof. This is the magic of cinema. With a special tool filled with red liquid and remote-controlled mini explosives, the effects of blood and gunshot wounds are made to look
Okay, if you didn't see it, or it doesn't make sense to you, what I'm getting at is this blood that has been prepared by your body for your brain to go in through those capillaries. It would be a death sentence to have that blood in chunks, and that's what it is here. It's coming out in chunks, like it's already coagulated. I would say that the guy's already dead over a day. Okay, because blood doesn't come out in chunks. It squirts out, possibly, arterial blood especially, but it doesn't do that. It doesn't come out in chunks. This is definitely some trickery going on, and this looks exactly like it does in the movies when they need somebody shot in the chest. Okay, and I hate to burst your bubble, because I had the same reaction. I wanted to kill somebody when I first saw it. I mean, Charlie Kirk, I don't really care for the guy as much, but nobody deserves to be shot like that. But now I'm believing he's still alive. Okay, now these Freemasons, Charlie, he's a Freemason. These guys have a habit of staging their own deaths. They do it all the time, constantly. And then they reappear as somebody else. Okay? And don't even get started on that, because that rabbit hole will take you months to get down and figure out who's all who. And it would be worth your investigation, but it does take a long time. Anyway, here we are. Charlie's, has a good reason to false flag. Okay? Very good reason. Well, the number one reason is that he's a Freemason, and that's who does the false flags, most of them. And but this blood coming out in chunks, I ain't buying it. Nah, that's blood that's been bagged up and is ready for a show.
To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Is this guy that guy? Compare their faces. He won 6 Emmy Awards, makeup artist, and special effects. This is an artificial created neck. Here, make a hole for the hose. This one here. Or maybe this one here. The camera looks different. Look at the attachment. Look at the reflection of the smartphone. Looks like the tent is white, no red fluid, but a hypersonic body would pass through like butter. Maybe that's why they want to get the camera, the attachment as fast as possible.
Why don't you bring flowers like a normal person? It's your father's favorite casserole.
Who even eats it anyways?
I've been meaning to tell you. Your father's alive. What? We figured out how to pay for school. Dad faked his death so his art would skyrocket in value.
He's been down there for months.
Had to lay low while I sold all the paintings. Hi, babe. I told the kids. Say hi.
Hi, Dad.
We're so happy you're alive. Or we could look at a few different savings options.
I've been dying to see some options.
The right money moves aren't as dramatic as you think.
A 2016 campaign and traveled the nation with my son Don and Eric. I got to know him very well and saw immediately that Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
You can see when Tyler was running across the roof, on the gray gravel part he has a shadow, yet when he goes to the white part he has no shadow. If you also look, you can see a blue hue line around that white shadow in what this looks like is a three-dimensional space breaking behind a blue screen. Just like in action movies, they use 3D blue screens in order to make it look more realistic. You can also see a pedestrian in the background phase out of what we see in the scene. To me, what this looks like is that they overlaid footage of someone jumping off of a roof using a blue screen and forgot to change the different layers. Between the shadow, the blue hue, and the missing person, this video is altered and edited. I'm going to show the channel that I actually found this with. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this.
This CIA and Mossad cover-up is more clear than ever before. You can see the new construction at Utah Valley University and where they covered up where Charlie Kirk's supposed blood was supposed to be. They got to work on this construction site within 48 hours of Charlie Kirk dying. No room for evidence, no room for forensics, no room to trace the supposed bullet. If this isn't an obvious cover-up for you guys, then I don't know what is. New sand, new concrete, new pavement, new everything. This is an obvious cover-up, and we still don't know if Charlie went into that hatch or any of the Secret Service that were watching him went to the hatch also.
If there was a hatch door nearby, then we can assume, as we should always assume with colleges, obviously stadiums, there's always an underground path. So I'm wondering if the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that. While everyone's looking around and thinking that a shot went off from here, if that was just maybe like decoy number 2, and actually Charlie was shot from beneath him, which then could maybe explain why there was no exit wound. Again, I'm theorizing because I have a right to. I have a right to think. And that is interesting to me. Where does it go? Where do the tunnels underneath UVU lead to? Right? That's an interesting question. Maybe everyone's looking up when we should be looking below. There was a massive pipeline that was almost exactly behind where Charlie was sitting. Here's that maybe it's a water pipeline. I don't know, but there it is under the flag. And to your right, I went into my tips line and I saw that somebody had messaged me about this. More than one person messaged me about this. They're like, hey, yeah, there's like a whole underground thing there. And to your right, you're observing those 2 little boxes. And they told me that was a trap door. Now, I'm not implying someone, popped up and shot Charlie, but that's a close-up of that area. I'm just implying that there's an entire underground there. And I remember when I looked at the footage, I felt like it was coming up. I don't know anything about ballistics. I'm not an expert. But if there was a hatch door nearby, then we can assume, as we should always assume with colleges, obviously stadiums, there's always an underground path. So I'm wondering if the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that. While everyone's looking around and thinking that a shot went off from here, if that was just maybe like decoy number 2, and actually Charlie was shot from beneath him, which then could maybe explain why there was no exit wound. Again, I'm theorizing because I have a right to. I have a right to think. And that is interesting to me. Where does it go? Where do the tunnels underneath UVU lead to, right? That's an interesting question. Maybe everyone's looking up when we should be looking below.
Let's be real clear. I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
First of all, there was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place. And then he did this at this thing. Right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child porn right away.
Right after this happened?
Oh, right away. He's in jail for child porn. Why is that? Well, now you can't interview him.
Right. Right.
And because when the internet people start going, how are you at all these different things? Like, what are the odds? Like, if someone ran it through one of the ChatGPT fucking perplexity things, like, what are the odds that this guy would be at all those different events and be involved? Like, 0.
This is the guy?
Yeah.
I just like that the pants down part is just insane to me. It's like, why is your dick out, dude?
I did it. Listen, I'm not saying this guy isn't insane. He's clearly insane.
Yeah.
Or not. Or he's professionally insane.
Right.
That's where it gets squirrely.
If you can go back to Miss USA 2012, what a story you would have to tell.
Our fantastic musical guests, Cobra, Starship, and Akon, and to our wonderful correspondents, Jeannie Mai and Kelly Osbourne. Great job.
And of
You know who that is, Miss Arizona? That's Charlie Kirk's wife.
course, the owner of the Miss Universe organization, Donald Trump.
Things are about to change.
It all feels off. How can you have a memorial service for someone and your extended family isn't there? Your widow's extended family isn't there. The only people that are there are business partners, colleagues, co-workers, and the Trump administration. Where are the siblings? The aunties, the uncles, the mamas, the daddies, not even hers. You have to question that. Like all the conspiracy theories out there, right? Is he still alive? And that's why his family's like, I'm not going to mourn him if he's on that island over there or something. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't understand how you can have a memorial service without any of your family members. Something feels off. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know. It feels off.
What you're looking at are two photos of Trump on stage at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Same person, same event, two different photo agencies, Getty and AP. But look closely. In one photo, his tie is solid red. In the other, it has a diagonal pattern. That doesn't happen. You don't change ties mid-speech. And it's not just these photos. So many of the visuals from this memorial and the broader narrative show AI red flags. It's time to start asking why media outlets are flooding TV and social media with photos that show clear signs of AI manipulation without any disclosure.
You guys, he's still alive. Earlier that day, a trapdoor was built directly underneath his tent. His tent measurements are 10 feet wide by 9 feet high, the exact measurements you need to create a hologram. And directly behind him was an over $60,000 holographic projector. That's why his ring jumps from his fourth finger to his pinky in some videos, and chairs fall through the tables. And by the way, I used to hunt. The kind of bullet that hit him would have exploded his head off. His neck wouldn't have been able to stop it. You need to wake up. You're being harvested.
Is about to be committed.
Now listen to me, Mr. Secretary. I am telling you, you're the one that's going to be sorry.
How do you want to be remembered? I mean, if I die?
You will be a witness. And the hardest thing to spot will be the truth.
I'm a homicide detective and a material witness.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
14,000 eyewitnesses!
I'm betting that the redhead you follow is the same person who told Tyler to throw the fight. She's one.
Do you know how many max
Shooter's 2.
George Zinn, obviously. I wanted to track down George Zinn.
Tyler's 3.
Tyler James Robinson.
5 people make a conspiracy, right?
As the first taste of tropical storm Jezebel lashes the boardwalk outside the grand old Atlantic City Arena.
2 weeks before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the far-left website Jezebel declared that it had a mission to cast bad luck or a curse on Charlie. They wanted to hurt him in some way. Jezebel is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares.
Please, Rick. You're all alone on this. The house wins. The house wins.
The house wins.
The house wins.
The source says that it was too fragmented to match Tyler's rifle, so they don't have even the bullet. And let us not forget that Tyler himself has not confessed to anything. And that part also didn't make sense. He said they brought him in. Bill Ackman puts up $1 million. Tyler's dad gets the sheriff friend to come over, and they say he did it. And the police come and they bring him in. They bring Tyler Robinson in, but Tyler Robinson doesn't confess. So how did you arrest him? Does that make sense? How could you make an arrest if you didn't have a confession? You would have to have evidence, and the evidence can't be trust my dad, bro. You can't. If I just bring in a random person, if I say, oh, look, Skylar just committed this crime, and Skylar says, no, I didn't, and he doesn't confess, the police can't just make an arrest. You can just arrest Skylar. Nothing is making sense at all. It has not made sense from the very beginning. Okay.
A member of Turning Point USA, the lead tech guy for Charlie Kirk. He's traveling with him. He's at all of these live events. And that guy meddled with evidence, contaminated a crime scene on camera by climbing up on the chair that Charlie Kirk had been sitting on at the time that he was shot and removing the camera that was behind Kirk's head. We've covered this before. Then he removed the SD card, by the way, and handed it off to one of his colleagues, who then hid the SD card in his hat as he walked away. That's where I store things. Charlie Kirk has already left the scene in a vehicle that was driven by his security detail, which according to Charlie Kirk were all Israeli. That doesn't raise any red flags. Now he's got the camera down. He talks to this other guy. I got to get this SD card out of here. Puts it down on the table, and he's frantically trying to remove this SD card, which eventually here he will. And watch what happens when he does successfully retrieve the SD card. See the other shadowy looking guy in the white t-shirt with the sunglasses on, who doesn't want to be identified, walks behind the tent, and there it is. There's the handoff. And in the hat it goes, and then off he goes. What are they hiding exactly? That's the $6 million question here, isn't it? Turning Point USA spokesman Andrew Colvett issued a public statement claiming that the surgeon that worked on Charlie Kirk, the surgeon had determined that Charlie Kirk was made of steel, that he was literally Superman. Seriously, that's where they're taking this. That's what they're saying. Charlie Kirk was Superman, and in death, his throat of steel stopped a .30-06 high-velocity, high-power projectile round to save the lives of those that were standing behind him. We really have no reason to believe Andrew Colvett, especially after he was identified as the guy who was actually shutting down the eyewitness testimony of a Turning Point USA member who was giving his first-person account in the immediate aftermath of the Charlie Kirk shooting.
I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I saw I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off. Get off me! Get off me!
So we've got a guy making off with an SD card in his hat after his buddy had handed it off to him. And we've also got this top dog Turning Point USA spokesman physically shutting down an eyewitness on camera in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. And if they're lying to you about the bullet, then why wouldn't they lie to you about everything else?
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.